Our first speaker today is Geena Chacko, an engineer and STEM ambassador who grew up in a village and learned programming without compiling, and is now surviving well with a bunch of good engineers at Global Payments. She's going to start off the afternoon talking about why you should try programming and why you may just fall in love. Take it away.
Hi everyone, I'm Geena. I'm working as a senior software engineer for Global Payments in Belfast. I'm here for presenting you Try Programming, you may fall in love with it. I'm also a STEM ambassador for the last 10 years. I'm taking this opportunity to appreciate Raspberry Jam team to deliver this virtually. And I usually, when I used to do the face-to-face presentation, I really miss all those enthusiastic smiles and all the beautiful faces when we deliver usually face-to-face. I am here to explain you like how I started programming, how I started enjoying programming. 20 years back in India, in a small village, a 15-year-old girl was confused about what kind of profession, what kind of career she needed to select for her future. So she was confused, thinking whether she needs to go in the medical stream, whether she needs to go into the engineering stream. But her mom was inspiring her to select medical, because if in India it is like majority of parents know about only two professions. Either your son or daughter needs to be a doctor or an engineer. Many other careers are like they don't think that there is any other careers exist. So in A levels you have to select either the science subjects or the math subjects, and then if you're selecting math subjects you will end up in engineering, or if you're not passing out then you will end up into some other careers. And if you are selecting your science topics, you will be ending up in medicine. So my mom asked me to select science subjects, so I selected science. And even though I was so much fearful of handling blood and everything, I thought, okay, let me try and see how it goes. So while I was filling the application form for the school, I found that we can also add additional maths as a subject. But the problem is, no one will be teaching you maths in school, but you have to study by yourself. The only subject which you have selected will be taught by the teachers. So I took the risk of taking additional maths along with me, thinking, okay, I will go ahead, trying medicine, trying medical, trying science subjects, and also at the same time, I will keep my passion along with me. But the risk is, if you fail in maths, then you can't go to university. So I still remember my first day in the biology lab. There, the first task was to dissect a cockroach. So it was really hard, and I was almost at the stage of fainting. And then later it was about dissecting a frog. So it was so scary. But I managed to finish my science A levels like in 2 years, and the results came up. I got 80% for my biology, and I got 94% for my maths. So that helped me to showcase to my mom, see, I don't think medicine is the right subject for me, but I think I need to try engineering. But my mom was really worried, like whether you will be successful in that. But then I tried to convince her, and I selected engineering as my discipline. And then I gone for my graduation, I selected electronics and communication engineering, and we built circuits. I enjoyed all the engineering subject and everything. And in electronics and communication, there was only a little bit about programming. So I didn't get any opportunity to learn programming much while I was graduating in electronics and communication. Then for my first job interview, it was with a software company. It was one of the famous company in India, which is Wipro. They select graduates from different streams, and they then train them for whatever projects they need. So the first, I got selected in Wipro, and they gave me the option for system engineering, network engineering, and programming. So I thought, why not I try programming, even though it's a little bit risky, because after 3 months, they will be doing an exam. So if you don't pass in that exam, then you will not be absorbed into the company. So I thought, even though it is something new for me, I thought, let me try programming and see how it goes. So that is my first step towards programming. That's where I started thinking or selecting programming as an option. It started becoming more interesting for me whenever I got into the project. The project was like, it is always like customer facing problems. Problems will be coming, we have to fix various bugs. And realizing that, oh, this is the line of the code, or this is the function we have to fix to resolve this problem is the most interesting bit I found. So I was really enjoying it, and it was also motivating. So that was my first step towards programming. Always when I talk to people, like what you are doing, what is your profession, I always say, okay, I'm a software engineer. Then people will be like so much surprised. Like, how can maybe you are a clever person to go into programming? There are lots of myths around programmers. I picked certainly 5 myths which is around programmers. One is only mathematical genius can write code. Even though I like maths, it's a huge help, but I always say I don't think that you need to be a mathematician to do programming. Understanding maths and having that basic skill is really good. If you're not writing any much algorithm or complex problems, I don't think you'll be using that much maths in programming. So anybody, even though your knowledge in maths is basic, I think still you can try programming. The second thing is only adults can learn programming. I don't believe so, because as per studies, people say that from 5 year to 20 year is the best age you can study anything. So if you can read English and if you can follow the instructions, you can start learning programming at the age of from 7, I think, at the age of 7. So I think it's not only for adults, it's for everybody. Everybody can try programming. And the third thing which I come across is it's necessary to memorize all the syntax to become a good programmer. I don't think these days anybody will memorize anything. So we ask Google or we ask Alexa, but you need to have a little bit of knowledge. I mean, you need to have knowledge about the language, but if you forget about a syntax or something, still you can look around and you can figure out what it is. And the fourth one is the most annoying one. It's a woman cannot code. If you see the picture in my presentation, it's Ada Lovelace, and she is the first computer programmer. And she is not the first women computer programmer, she is the first computer programmer. So I think everybody can code, everybody can learn programming. It's not like women can't code. I think if I count the number of female engineers in my company, I can count them with my fingers. But I think the reason maybe girls might not have tried. If they have tried programming, I think we can increase the number of female engineers. And the fifth one, which is learn a single programming language and be an expert, and that is sufficient. I don't believe so, because if you learn a programming language, it depends upon the problem in front of you, what kind of project in front of you. You will be learning more languages and you will be solving that problem with that language. So even if you're expert in one language, you still may need to learn other languages to solve the problem in front of you. So learning one single language is not sufficient, but that will give you a base, and from that you can learn other languages. So what's actually the programming language means? People communicate each other using German, Chinese, English and everything. To talk to computer, we need to talk to computer using binary. So it's almost impossible for a human to talk to computer using binary language. That's where programming language comes into picture. So programming language acts as a mediator in between human and computer, so that whatever instruction human wants to give to the computer will be translated through programming languages. According to Wikipedia, there are 700 programming languages out there. But I don't think any expert programmer will be learning all those 700 programming languages. So it is like maybe 1 or 2, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe during your lifetime you will be learning. So you don't need to know every computer languages to be a programmer, And why I am asking you to try programming is there is a software skill shortage currently in the industry. So as of 2018, 95% of 16 to 24-year-old have a smartphone. That means not only 16 to 24-year-old, I think most of us, we start the moment we wake up from bed, to the moment we go back to bed, we use different kinds of softwares and programs. So all these softwares are running using by the programs written by programmers. So it is an essential skill. I think learning how to code is a valuable skill, and I think anybody can do it. And in fact, it is 0.3% of the world population know how to code also. So I think it is really an important skill to learn. So what are the steps to try for programming? So first, I will say, before you jump into go and sign up for some costly programs or learning modules or something, find some as much free resources as possible and try a couple of languages and find the problem which you want to solve. For example, maybe it is a board game, you want to convert that into a software program, or maybe it is something like a shopping list which you are creating and then that needs to be converted into an app or something like that. So first identify what is the problem you want to solve. So learning coding is actually helping you to solve the problems in front of you. Coding and programming is a tool to help you. And solve with your favorite language and then try new problems. And once you are good with your language, try to pair up with your friends and teach what you have learned and learn from them. I just placed 2 links over here, the Free Code Camp and Khan Academy. There are lots of useful resources out there that you can go and figure out and you can learn programming languages. And if you're in the age of 7 to 10-year-old, I think maybe Scratch is the best thing to start with, and maybe Kids Python is there. There are lots of other languages out there. I'm not pointing to one single language, but try and figure out what will be the best one which is suitable for you. So finally, all I want to say is a magical world of software is awaiting for you. The key to that magical world is programming, and programming will help you to unlock and get into that magical world. And I take this opportunity to wish you a good luck to all the young minds listening to me, and try programming and get into that magical world. Thank you.
So now we're going to pass it on to Andy.